Sure.
Okay.
Check, 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 check.
Cowbell.
More cowbell?
More cowbell.
More cowbell.
Oh.
Is it a permanent display now? Part of our aesthetic? Our aesthetic is now cowbell.
This is like
Were you wondering the same thing?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I wondered who it belonged to.
Shall
I
I
didn't know
ask?
who it
No,
is.
no, no.
so-
Does this belong to anybody?
It's
Why
Tim's
is it here?
cowbell, I believe.
Okay.
I'm just not sure why
Why
he's
it's
left
still
it
here.
here. So
Okay.
I will check the deer cowbell.
We're infusing a bovine.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello.
Canvassing. There's lots of uses.
Indeed.
Oh, I don't know. Ding ding.
There isn't a ding ding in there, no.
I will. Oh, see his coconuts too. Tim is leaving bits of himself all over. I don't know whether that's purposeful or. The things with peonies, if you move them too quickly, all the petals go everywhere. As my dining room table will attest to.
You have to handle the end of the stem.
And that will stop the leaves from falling off?
I slit up and then handle the bottom and stick it in so it comes in from the bottom. And it makes it last a little longer in the vase because normally it's only 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
and that's it. Yeah. But I've had them over a week in my vase.
Well, there you go. Gardening tips from Sharon. That's really helpful.
This way we are a diverse knowledge base.
No, it's lovely.
Because everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Of course. You didn't get one. Okay. I'll go make a copy. Okay?
not gonna let you knock me down. I'm walking away from what you've got. Bad vibes, not what I want. Bad vibes, not what I want. I'm not gonna let you destroy my day. I'm not gonna hear what you got to say. The tears you used to make me cry, baby, those tears, they've all run dry. All run dry. I'm walking away with my head held high. I'm not giving this no more time. Bad vibes, not what I want. Bad vibes, not what I want. The tears you used to make me cry, baby, those tears, they all run dry. All run dry. I'm who I am and I'll never hide. So take your misery and step aside. Bad vibes, not what I want. Bad vibes, not what I want. Tears you used to make me cry, baby, those tears, they've all run dry. All run dry. The tears you used to make me cry, baby, those tears, they've all run dry. All run dry.
Thank you, Darcy. Good morning. You had it? Yeah. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have opted to join us online. For those present, if you could quiet your electronic devices, and with the exception of those of you who need them for your hearing apparatus. My name is Beverly Horton. My pronouns are she and they, and I am this morning's service leader. We're so grateful to those who co-create worship every Sunday, and this morning our co-creators are, you've already heard from our guest music minister this morning, Darcy Feaver. I'm very happy to have Darcy with us this morning. And of course, our beloved music director, Rachel Derry. I've never noticed the It Takes a Village announcements. I've never really heard folks do the clapping for everybody, but that's pretty cool. All right. Okay, very good. Our storyteller this morning is Tim Versteeg, our religious educator. Tech team this morning. Y'all don't get started. You don't even know how many announcements there are this morning. So this is going to be a very long service. You keep this up. So I'll ask you now to hold your applause until we get to the end. Our tech team this morning, Brian Carey, Clare Miles, John Elliott, and Josh McIntyre. Ushers. Yes, we have them. Yes, yes. Doreen Knoll and Barb Wallace. And our worship assistant this morning is Sue Johnstone, and our greeter was Julia Rock. I extend a special thank you to our most special co-creator, service co-creator this morning, Reverend Danie Weber, who is our candidate for settled ministry. I also would like to take a moment to recognize and celebrate fathers, fathers of origin and those of choice. They get short shrift. Does anybody, any fathering type folks, father, verb fathers, recognized today? Anybody taking you out for something to eat? Or, okay, or doing the lawn or doing some other sort of inappropriately masculinized task for today? Yes? Okay. So thank you, fathers. Food for Thought Book Club. Calling all book club members and those wishing to participate in next year's readings. The June meeting of the Food for Thought Book Club will be tomorrow, Monday, June 17th, starting at 1 p.m. We'll celebrate the end of the reading with a potluck followed by the vote for the 2024-25 year's books. Also, there will be a discussion of the last book of this year, The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. The climate team is challenging you to play a Summer of Action Challenge bingo. There you will see over to my right, to your left at the end, there's a little whirly thingy, one of those, yes, multicolored things. You'll pick up your materials for the bingo on the corner of that table. So the challenge, there will be a prize for each bingo and a draw at the end of the summer for grand prizes. Be engaged in active hope. Zoomers and Boomers will be meeting Wednesday, June 26th at 1:30 for a strawberry social in the church garden. A strawberry shortcake and punch will be provided, and you're asked to bring your own lunch or snack and a lawn chair. If you are over 50, you are welcome to come, even if you've never attended a Zoomers and Boomers event before. Sue Johnstone and Charlie Pond are asking you to join them for this pleasant afternoon of food and fellowship, and also asking you to RSVP to one of them. The garden crew is inviting you to come out and see our award-winning, grant-sponsored Carolineal, yeah, you know, they're yes, the Carolineal gardens, yes. Well, they're a wildlife habitat. This gem in our community has been developed over 12 years as an urban oasis. And a long list of announcements related to this important upcoming week, or candidating week. There'll be many opportunities for you to interact with Reverend Danie this week. Some of them are going to be focused around ministry and programming areas, and others are broadly open for everyone to be involved. Should say, oh, it's not there anymore. I was just going to point. The schedule, oh, there it is. There are many printed copies of the schedule out in the foyer area. Please help yourself to one. You should also have received an electronic version maybe twice this week, and things will also appear again towards the end of the week in the all-church email. What I'd like to point out is that in the schedule, you'll see all of the meetings that are identified in red. Those are focused on committee and program area groups. That does not mean, though, that everyone is not welcome to participate. It would be a very good opportunity if you're interested, for instance, in sort of the extended worship cluster, what the AV tech folks do, and music, and the worship committee. It would be a good opportunity to sit in and listen to and talk about protocol and like how what happens on Sunday actually happens. I want to call that, that meeting's on Tuesday night, I want to call that Sunday sausage. You know, it's like you get a chance to see how the Sunday sausage is made. Would like to draw attention, though, to a few of the events that are going to be on Thursday. So there's a chair yoga at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. No yoga experience is required. All are welcome. Directly following that in Fellowship Hall, there'll be an opportunity for an informal meet and greet with Reverend Danie, and there'll be refreshments provided. In the afternoon at 1 o'clock on Thursday, Wisdom of the Elders. So long-term members of Hamilton First and long-time UUs are invited to share tea and wisdom and get to meet Reverend Danie in small groups. If you have wisdom to share, and I think most of you think you do, you are welcome. There will also, for folks who are unable to make it to be here in person, there will be an online informal meet and greet that's going to be hosted by Karen Kumar, and the Zoom link is available on the bookings calendar, and you may also have received an email with that link. Finally, on Friday, the 21st, the potluck and games night from 6:30 to 8:30 in the foyer and sanctuary. Congregants of all ages, including families, children, and youth, are welcome to enjoy time with each other and with Reverend Danie and their partner, Adam. Pizza will be provided. Please bring your favorite games and an appetizer, salad, or dessert if you can. So after all the fun of meeting and greeting and chatting about things, all things First Hamilton, we'll have next Sunday after the service at 11:30, we'll have our special members meeting in which we will vote to call Reverend Danie as our settled minister. If you cannot physically be here Sunday, that is not an excuse for you not to vote. Just saying. Wi-Fi is all over the place, up at your cottage, up at the cottage that you're renting, whatever you're doing next Sunday at 11:30. Set an alarm for yourself so that you can participate in that vote. It's very important. It's a double quorum required for that special members meeting, so that requires that we have 80 members participating in the vote and a 95% positive response is required. All right. I'm loath to say, and thus ends the announcements, because inevitably there's one that's been forgotten, but those are the important ones for right now. Our chalice is a reminder of the light and hope of our faith. We light it each time we gather to remind us of the sacredness of our time together. I've invited Mel Rutherford, who is the co-chair of the Ministerial Search Task Force, to light the chalices. Please join me in our chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love. Thanks, Mel. We welcome you today, whatever the circumstances of your life, in the many ways we identify as people, and in the diversity of how we love and live. In this house of faith, we are all included as we search for truth, build community, and strive to make the world a better place for all. I invite Mel to provide land acknowledgement first this morning.
Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge that that before First Unitarian Church was here and before the city of Hamilton was here, Many peoples lived on and traveled through these lands, including the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Mississauga, the Erie, and the Neutral peoples. Today, many people live on and travel through these lands, including indigenous settlers and refugees, and we value the shared stewardship of these lands.
Hello, First Hamilton. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is really, really good to be with you this morning and to be spending the next week with you all. I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. As many of you likely know, I have been in this sanctuary dozens and dozens, maybe even more than 100 times. Though this is the first time that I have stepped up to this pulpit, and what an honor it is to be here with you all as we discern what a shared ministry might look like together. This morning we are celebrating Pride Month, a celebration and commemoration of the LGBTQIA+ community's liberation, a liberation that is intrinsically tied to our own liberation, our own freedom. But before we go there, let us settle into this time of worship with words from Reverend Sharon Wiley, entitled Wholeness. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here. All of you, every part of you, beautiful just the way you are. Here you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or the person sitting next to you or the children or to anyone. You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful. Every part of you beautiful just the way you are. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful just the way they are. You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you different from each and beautiful in your own beautiful way. Breathtaking. Come, let us worship together. And let us begin our worship with song, How Could Anyone? The words will be projected on the wall behind me. Please rise in voice and in spirit to sing, How Could Anyone?
How could anyone ever tell you Good morning. Might be one of the last times I'm up here. Okay, I asked for that. My name is Tim Versteeg. It's my great privilege to be the religious educator here at the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. My pronouns are he, him. We have one more announcement. I know, Beverly. But I did want to remind people and lift up that we are, as a community, doing a trip to the Josiah Henson Museum of African Canadian History in August, on August 17th. This is a free trip. All you have to do is bring a boxed lunch, and if you would like to be a part of that excursion, it will leave from the church about 9:30 in the morning. We got a nice bus, and we'll get back about 5:30, have a nice tour out there. It's a great facility, and so you just need to let Mary Eve know. She is gathering who would like to go on that trip, and I encourage you to do so. This is part of our anti-hate grant money that we applied for and got, and it's co-sponsored by the CYRE and our 8th Principal Group. So, our story for all ages this morning is Still My Tessa, Sylv Chang and Matthias Ball. Happy Pride, everybody. All summer long, Tessa listens to music in the dark and yells at me when I knock on the door. I miss Tessa so much. When Tessa finally comes out, Tessa says, "I'm not your sister anymore." I think I'm still Tessa's sister. I'm just glad Tessa's back, so I say, "Cool, I always wanted a brother." But Tessa's not my brother either. Tessa says, "Just call me your sibling." Sorry, I'm a little confused with my thing here. There we go. I knew I missed one. Tessa plays with me again sometimes, but it's no to toys, no to stuffed animals, and no way to dress up. We play games and watch videos. Tessa doesn't smile, even if a video is super funny. When I forget and call Tessa she, I'm missing a slide here, sorry. When I forget and call Tessa she, Tessa frowns and they say they. When I forget and say her, Tessa smiles and says them. When I remember and use their, Tessa's eyes glitter just a little bit. It only takes me a week to learn it. Today, we're going on a family bike ride. Mom calls, "Girls, time to go." I say, "Tessa's not a girl." Mom tries again. "Kids, time to go." We push our bikes into the sunlight. "But that's a girl bike," I say. "It's okay," Tessa says. "That bike will have to do for today," says Dad. "But you don't want people to think you're a girl." "I'm sure you'll let everybody know," Tessa says. "Is that okay?" I ask them. "Yes." We swoop along the lane. I want to win, but no matter how hard I pedal, I'm never as fast as them. We pass someone walking a dog. "Can't keep up with that big sister, eh?" "That's not my sister," I call. "That's my sibling." Tessa slows down so we can bike side by side. At the ice cream store, Tessa still picks the same flavor as always, cookies and cream. I pick the prettiest one, rainbow. When we get our next ice cream, the person behind us in line says, "We're next, after these two girls." I say, "Nope, just one girl." One side of Tessa's mouth rises a smidge. While ice cream drips down my chin, Mom says, "I don't think we need to tell everyone we meet about Tessa's gender." Dad says, "It's confusing for people." "It's not confusing, I learned it in 1 week." Tessa says, "It doesn't matter, but I know it does." On the way home, Tessa pedals slowly. I stay next to them while Mom and Dad ride on. Tessa won't answer any questions, even when I ask which superpower they want. When they say, "Just leave me alone," I worry. What if they go back in their room and lock the door? When we roll up to the house, Mom and Dad call us over to meet our new neighbors. "Hey, look," one of the neighbors said to their child, "there are 2 girls next door for you to play with." Everyone looks at us. Tess and I look at each other. "Actually," Dad says, "there is a girl. Her name is Evelyn." Mom smiles at us. And our older child, Tessa, is not a boy or a girl. They are non-binary. Then the best thing ever happens. Tessa smiles. That's the end of our story this morning.
Oh, Timothy. He's gone. I imagine that the young ones are welcome to stay because I haven't received indication otherwise. So. The young ones are welcome to go out. Oh, they're welcome to go out. Okay, young ones, let's sing you out then. Let's do that.
Or stay. Stay.
I'm loving it around here these days. Things are just ever in this sort of beautiful state of flux. You know? It's all good. It's all good. Sparkly pride ways of timing and being today. So it's good. For our meditation, we have a short video. It's entitled Queer Morning Blessings. Action.
In flux and change. So our time of contemplation this morning is a prayer, and it comes from Dory Midnight and Randy Farash Stewart. A wee bit about this prayer before we play the video. Dory and Randy were preparing it for a Passover Seder, a special celebration during the Jewish High Holy Days. Randy had previously written a queer blessing, and Dory used it as an inspiration to rewrite the ancient Birkat HaShachar, pardon my pronunciation. This is a selection of morning prayers that contains individual blessings. Dory states about this prayer, each of these names of the divine is a translation or interpretation based on the attributes of the divine in Jewish tradition. Please ready yourself for our queer morning blessing. Afterwards, we will have a moment of silence and then music.
Blessed are you, awakener, life of all worlds, who removes sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids.
Blessed are you, generous creatrix, who stretches forth the earth upon the waters.
Blessed are you, sacred flame, who shines your light upon everyone and everything.
Blessed are you, wings of gold, who crowns my people, all people, with splendor.
Blessed are you, holy fashion designer, who delights in the way we dress ourselves as altars.
Blessed are you, nameless and infinite, who has made us in your image and reminds us that all bodies are sacred and holy. Boom, boom.
Blessed are you, liberation worker, who moves us to stretch and expand towards freedom.
Blessed are you, divine apple orchard, who delights in my delight and receives my pleasure as praise.
Blessed are you, the way, who meets me where I am.
Blessed are you, holy breath, who fills me with this gift every day.
Blessed are you, abundance, for helping me remember I have everything I need.
Blessed are you, source of life, who I draw upon for strength, and who reminds me that rest is a sacred act.
Blessed are you, fabulous one, who loves me just as I am.
Blessed are you, weaver of being, who shaped the human being with wisdom, making for us all of the openings and vessels of the body. It is known that we are miracles, and that all bodies are miracles.
Blessed are you, you of many names, for revealing infinite paths of healing.
Blessed are you,
you of many names,
for revealing
infinite paths of healing.
Part of building a nurturing community includes sharing our joys and sorrows. Today we have these to share. First, a sorrow. Anna Schaefer, longtime friend of First Hamilton, has died recently. Her obituary appears on the SPEC website. We're not mentioned in the obituary, but we know who she is. Anna's memorial is going to be held at Temple Anshe Shalom next Sunday, June 23rd at 4 p.m. Here's a joy shared by Angela Morgan. Peter and I were thrilled and proud to attend the convocation of our daughter Olivia on June 11th. She graduated with a Bachelor of Management and Organizational Studies from the University of Western Ontario and recently started a contract position as marketing assistant for the Burlington Economic Development Corporation. All those higher education dollars being put to good use. Yes. Jen and Susanna Reed share this joy. The Stratford Unitarians are celebrating their first membership service on Sunday, June 30th, and we are all invited. The service is going to be held at the Falstaff Family Center, which is at 35 Waterloo Street North in Stratford, and Reverend Victoria Ingram will be leading the service. Jen, I imagine that you'll submit that for all church email this week? Beautiful. Okay. We know that there are sorrows among us that are too tender to share, or you simply choose at this time not to share them. And we hold those, all of those sorrows in this space today and remind you that we're never alone. There are also other joys out there that weren't expressed this morning. We just take a moment to acknowledge that we celebrate the joys among us and rejoice in the happiness that flows through our community. The offering that we accept each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit ourselves to this community and to our relationship with one another. When we give, we say yes to something that we value. With gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. As we collect the offering this morning, we'll listen to Darcy, who will play for us, "You Don't Know Me."
How can you look me in the eye with so much anger and hate inside? You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. How can you say and feel the things you do? So damn hurtful and untrue. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. Say it with me, love is love. Feel it with me, love is love. Fight hate with love. We've got to fight cake with love. We've got to find cake with love. How can you judge and yell at me? Trying to tell me who I should be. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. Maybe give your head a shake. We're here to stand, we won't break. Grow stronger and stronger every day. We're here to stand, we won't break. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know.
Thank you, Darcy. I feel that we do know you. That was lovely, thank you. Your gifts in support of our ministries to one another and to this community are greatly appreciated. Thank you. I'd like to invite Reverend Danie forward to present to us her two-part homily entitled, "We Are All a Blessing."
In the summer between grade 10 and 11, my parents sold our family house and moved to a small town about 30 minutes away. My dad continued to work in downtown Calgary, and my mom worked as a personal support worker and was able to get transferred out to Airdrie. And of course, my brother and I had to go to a new school again. We had moved before and been introduced to a new school at least 2 other times, so it didn't really seem like that big of a deal. During that first week in September, we found ourselves sitting in the waiting room of the school counselor's office. Although it was the beginning of the year, because it was a small town, everyone had picked out their classes in June and already knew what their schedules were going to be. Jeremy and I needed to get schedules and then be shown to our first class, where hopefully we could settle into the background and not get noticed by too many people as new kids. In that counselor's room, on the wall behind the administrator's desk was a poster. It had a dinner plate surrounded by cutlery and a water glass, and at the bottom, in big, blocky black letters, it read, "Because sex and drugs aren't conversations that usually happen at the dinner table, come and talk to us." My brother leaned over to me and whispered, "I don't understand." We do talk about sex and drugs at the dinner table. I have no idea what I told him. I have no idea what my response was, but as I was thinking back on that time, the line from Wizard of Oz came back to me, "Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore." My parents did a really good job of making sure that Jeremy and I felt like we could always talk to them. My dad often talked about how he could always count on his parents to help him sort things out. And my mom had a kind of problematic relationship with her parents growing up, so they knew both what to do and what not to do, I guess. We never had a curfew. We needed to talk to them that afternoon and let them know what we were doing, and then we were told when we had to be home. But we got to negotiate every evening. Also, there was a jar in a kitchen cupboard that held a $50 bill. If we were ever in trouble and needed to get our way home, we knew that we could call a taxi and pay for it when we got to the house. My parents wanted to make sure that we felt safe enough to be able to make mistakes. For my 16th birthday party, they allowed me to invite friends over, and we were gonna have alcohol. They wanted to offer me a safe place to experiment. And so they told the parents of all of my friends that this was their plan and they weren't gonna be leaving that night. As you likely know by now, my father grew up Unitarian. And while attending this congregation as a teenager, he was able to participate in a curriculum called About Your Sexuality, a comprehensive sexuality education program that was written in 1970, published by the Unitarian Universalist Association. The curricula was edited several times, and in 1999, they released a new version entitled Our Whole Lives. It was an expanded curricula that included age groups outside of the original 11 to 14-year-olds. And one of the key philosophies of this curricula is that parents are the primary sexuality educators for their children. Not the people facilitating the program, but the parents. I believe that my grandparents took that responsibility quite seriously because my dad was able to talk to them about what was going on for him in his AYS classes and elsewhere, I'm sure. And he brought that practice to our family when he became a father. Also, secrets were never kept from us when we were growing up. I knew that my mom's older brother was gay from as young as I have memories of him. There was at least one lesbian couple in the fellowship in which I grew up in, and I remember in the late 90s when there was a rise in HIV-positive individuals in Western Canada, I wrote a school paper about HIV/AIDS and did a presentation about how it was not the gay disease. I wasn't able to go to OWL when I was a teenager. It wasn't offered at Calgary Unitarians when I was in the right age categories. But my parents did a really good job of being available for us and knew that they needed to be available to answer questions. So when I was in the 8th grade, I was ready to come out to my parents as bisexual. At that point in time, I had only dated one person, a boy from my scout group, but I knew that I was attracted to girls as well, and I had recently been crushing really hard on a girl from middle school. It was an incredibly uncomfortable conversation. I struggled to find the words to tell them how I knew what was true for me. I was embarrassed, and I was angry that I was embarrassed. Like, have you ever been angry that you're embarrassed about something you shouldn't be? I know that their response was full of love and grace. But I also remember my dad saying, I just don't understand. Isn't sexuality supposed to be like a light switch? It's either in one position or the other, not stuck in the middle. I remember feeling completely deflated. Yes, they loved me no matter what, and they honored who I was and what I was attempting to share with them. And yet there was a level of understanding that didn't happen, that couldn't happen, really, because I didn't have the words to explain, or really the self-awareness to articulate what was going on for me. And because my dad, even though he had been given an education in sexuality and health, did not know how to hold this information when it came to his own teenager. I remember that there were tears, which frankly happen for me all the time, so that shouldn't be a wonder. Nothing too unexpected. And there were hurt feelings, but I knew I was still loved. And even though we struggled to understand one another, the fact wasn't going to change. Even though we struggled to understand one another, they were unconsciously telling me that I had inherent worth and dignity. Blessed are you, weaver of being, who shape the human being with wisdom, making for us all the openings and vessels of the body. It is known that we are miracles, and all bodies are miracles. Before I continue, I'd like to invite you to join me in a responsive reading. These words were written by colleagues of mine, the Reverend Hannah Robert Villeneuve, Kaylee Parker, and Caitlin Coder-Kolberg. And they will be published in a new book from Skinner House, the Unitarian Universalist Association's publisher. The book is entitled Blessing It All, which will be released next week at General Assembly. I have edited their words for our Canadian context, but please follow along with the words on the wall. We come from fierce freedom fighters, from the survivors and the dead of the HIV crisis. We organized and fought for their lives. Who organized and fought for their lives? From the Black kings and queens who ruled the ballroom, who insisted we dance even amidst death and devastation. From these ancestors, we learn. We are precious and we are powerful. With the tender-hearted butches and the powerful femmes, with the strong twinks and the soft bears, with all the complexity that live within each of us, we know that we are whole, just as we are precious and we are powerful. From the Bull Dykes, the two Spirit siblings, the F to M guys, and every other sibling who is told they can't bring their full self to queer community. From them, we learn. We are precious and we are powerful. To the elders who've seen it all, to those with one toe out of the closet, to those who are still in it, to those who tore down the closet altogether, we say, we are precious and we are powerful. In the face of hatred, in the faces of those who deny our wholeness, who root ourselves in the truth we know, we are precious and we are powerful. From the dance floor to Parliament Hill, from our kitchen tables to Rideau Hall, from jail cells to classrooms to pulpits, whether whispered or shouted, we will and do proclaim, we are precious and we are powerful. We are precious and we are powerful. I was recently watching a video on Instagram. It was a mother sitting in the driver's seat of a car. It was parked. And you could hear two kids in the back seat. She was attempting to explain to these two kids, who from the sound of their voices were probably 6 or 7, what it means to come out. First, she said that it meant that the person was in love with someone who was the same gender as them. Not understanding why that was important or what it meant, she tried again, describing how sometimes people will hide their truths or hide their identities, like in a closet. And coming out can refer to sharing their truth, sharing themselves in the ways that were hidden before. Like any good conversation with a young child, there were many, but why? And I don't understand comments. After a short conversation, the mom was able to help her kids understand that some people don't think that loving relationships are all equal. The gays and the lesbians and other people who experience love in different ways are not supposed to exist, and therefore people sometimes have to hide their identities from others. The amount of shock that was in the voices of those children's response was heartwarming. It literally brought tears to my eyes. I grew up in a world where being a member of the LGBTQ+ community was okay, but it was still seen as other or a deviation from the normal, an anomaly perhaps. But today, in that video at least, there are children who already recognize that sexuality is expansive and dynamic. I mentioned before that I wasn't able to take Our Whole Lives sexuality program when I was a teenager, but when I was 23, Calgary Unitarians offered the adult program, and I finally got to participate. In the introduction, Our Whole Lives states, honest, accurate information about sexuality changes lives. It dismantles stereotypes and assumptions. It builds self-acceptance and self-esteem. It fosters healthy relationships, improves decision-making, and has the potential to save lives. The activities and language used throughout the program have been carefully chosen to be as inclusive as possible to represent human diversity. I believe that one other piece that the OWL program offers is a recognition that humans are ever-changing and always in flux. And really, much of our UU theology expresses this idea. And I would suggest it is most strongly expressed through two of our principles: acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, and a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. As we continue to grow and learn, and yes, all adults are still growing and learning, even if it's something that we struggle to understand when we were teenagers, we will change and express ourselves in better and different ways. When I was in 8th grade, I came out to my parents as a bisexual. I used that label for myself for many years, though after about a decade, I started to identify myself as queer, recognizing that bisexual was too limiting for my own self-understanding. And I also want to put a plug in here to state that the term bisexual is still very much needed within our LGBTQ+ community. It just felt like something that I had grown out of, something that no longer fit me. Our prayer this morning reminds me of another prayer that comes from one of my favorite science fiction novels, Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. So maybe I would add a verse to the queer morning blessing. Blessed are you, revolutionary transformer, who created night and day, and also dusk, golden hour, sunset, twilight, dawn, sunrise, daybreak, and the red sky of the morning. It is known that you welcome change in its many forms and practices. I still identify as queer. This label feels expansive enough for all of the blessings that I contain. But one other piece of learning that I have taken away from the Our Whole Lives curricula is that sexuality and gender identity are not the same thing, and they are not tied together or intrinsically joined. And so as I continue to revolve and evolve, as I shift from one moment in the daytime to the next, I continue to learn what is true for me and how I want to live and express myself in the world. And so here is another label. I am non-binary. I ask you to use they, them pronouns whenever you're referring to me. This identity has been with me for several years, and I have been experiencing the way the world perceives me when I use this label in safe communities for a considerable time now. It is the next step in my own transformation into becoming the person that I am and want to be perceived in the world. And it is a blessing. Perhaps you will perceive me as female, and you will be more comfortable using she, her pronouns for me. And while I recognize that comfort can be a hard place to leave, I have spent a long time lounging in comfort over the years. I will graciously welcome you into discomfort and correct you if you use the wrong pronouns. That is until the revolutionary transformer blesses me with a new change. Thank you all for listening, and please join me in our closing hymn, Answering the Call to Love. Please rise in voice and spirit.
Emboldened by
Our closing words come from the Glitter Blessing. It's composed by Hannah Roberts, Villeneuve, Kayla Parker, Caitlin Kohlberg, and published in Blessing It All. As we go forth, I offer you this final blessing. May you receive and reflect love wherever you go, and know in your deepest heart and in every day you matter and you belong. May you hold on to hope and your inner sparkle, even when discouragement and despair beckon. May the beauty that is you shine out, bright as the stars from which we came and to which we will return. Together, may we make this place of welcome and healing, of connection and plurality. Together, may we practice compassion and courage, seeing and celebrating and supporting each other. Together, may we be the sparkling force of love that our world needs. Blessed by this community and by the divine, go forth and celebrate with pride. Before Darcy brings us to the end of our service with the postlude, I would like to invite you to all stay for light lunch and the question and answer session with Reverend Danie and the members of the ministerial search team directly after the service. There will be magical appearings of food-like things up in the front here. So I'll invite you to come and take your little light lunch and place yourself back somewhere here in the sanctuary for a question and answer session.
I've got to break free, dig down deep to that part of me you've been trying to keep. I've tried to let go. How I don't know, but I know if I can't, you'll never let me go. What more can I say? What more can I do? Already forgiven every day. How much more can one person take? Where's my peace of mind? The last word you said mess with my head. You told me I'd never have a chance, you'd make sure of it. Trying my damn best, I'm giving my all. I'm taking on each day and I'm standing tall. What more can I say? What more can I do? Already forgiven every day. How much more can one person take? Where's my peace of mind? I've got to break free, dig down deep to that part of me you've been trying to keep. What more can I say? What more can I do? Already forgiven every day. How much more can one person take? peace of mind. Thank you very much. Thank you.